You know, there's a saying in MAGA circles that you don't hate the media enough. If you hate the media, however much you hate them, you gotta hate them more for the stuff that they pulled, for the stuff that they pull.
It's true. Legacy media, dude. Like, it's always biased. Like, either, well, most of them were against Trump, right? It just stuff that they were pushing through was just so ridiculous.
And it gets worse and worse and worse. They have essentially destroyed themselves because of everything they've done. But it's fascinating to learn even more about how corrupt they are. You know, this whole thing with the 60 Minutes interview just prior to the election, October 6, 2024, a great big sit down with Kamala Harris.
Oh, wait, is it the interview where they actually changed her answers? I remember there was an interview where she gave like stupid answers, but then they replaced it so she looked more intelligent. But in the trailer or something like that, they left the original answers, something like that. I wonder if that's it, because that was very ridiculous.
And Tim Walz, remember that guy? What
Dude,
they did
Timmy.
there, on top of protecting Joe Biden for how many years was it? 4 years, pretending that this guy.
Yo, that should be traitor. Oh, or treachery or whatever is the word for it. Like, they should all go to the freaking prison. Because, I'm sorry, my grandpa had Alzheimer, and last 5-6 years of his life, it wasn't the person he was when he was younger, right? Or before Alzheimer. And like, Joe doesn't look okay. Like, that's treason towards the American people. Like, how is this okay? I don't know.
It was normal, right? They all knew, but they wouldn't share it with their audience. Tells you how valuable Newsmax actually is. We were never, ever, ever afraid, and we documented every misstep and blunder and all of it.
Okay, I don't like them posting this. My personal opinion, like I said, I had a grandpa who had issue, and I don't think you need to kick him like this. Like, we all know how it was. This is kind of, he was still a president of USA, okay? Maybe not full 4 years, but
all of it.
Just dial it down a little bit.
Is running for president of the United States.
Oh my God.
Nobody voted for her. Remember, in the primary, 0 people voted for her.
Are you surprised? She didn't have any arguments. She didn't have any answers. According to her, everything was perfect. According to her, it was all about identity politics, like to make people who are for DEI happy, right? People freaking don't know what to eat, how to afford food, and she's like, oh, it's okay, we did a good job, we're gonna continue with that. And all she did was throwing shade on Trump. I'm not saying she was lying about everything, right? Like, there's definitely a lot of stuff you can tell about Trump. But that's how you're gonna build your candidacy, on just shitting on the other candidate? Why should we vote for you? Like, if Trump didn't win and she was president, what is she gonna do during those 4 years? Still complaining about Trump, or is she gonna find someone else to complain? Like again, I'm from Canada, so I'm saying we, but I mean Americans, right? But like, she didn't tell Americans what she's intending to do at all.
14 million people voted for Joe Biden, 0 voted for her, all right? But they tried to pretend everything was normal, and she sits down on 60 Minutes. Now, regular people, anybody who's casually observing this person, knows that she's got problems. But 60 Minutes bent over backwards, went way out of their way to create the illusion that she was all there. This interview should have been a knockout blow, right? After this thing aired, with the footage that they actually had in their possession, the race really should have been over Monday morning. It airs on Sunday night. It could have been over on Monday. Now, some of this stuff you've seen before. They put a big chunk of this online, but some of it you haven't. This is because of the lawsuit, and the FCC is investigating whether all of this was election interference. So this is what Kamala Harris normally sounds like on the big pressing issues of our day at the time, and still now, but especially back then, Israel and the conflict with Hamas and what we were going to do about it.
Oh, let's listen to that.
It seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening.
Well, Bill, the work that we have done has resulted in a number of movements in that region by Israel that were very much prompted by or a result of many things, including our advocacy for what needs to happen in the region.
But it seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening.
We're not going to stop pursuing what is necessary for the United States to be clear about where we stand on the need for this war to end.
What did she say? He can literally go ask my, I don't want to say dog. He can ask my, I don't know, my cat, and she's gonna give even the better answer. Like, if you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, just shut up. It's not even a like answer politician would give. She's like stuttering and everything. Like, it's just crazy. I know I'm stuttering a lot, but like what she is doing, and she is supposed to be president of USA. What the hell? She said, oh yeah, we did something, and we hope that something will work. He's not listening to our something, but we're gonna do that something that's the best for the US people. And obviously, if you look at everything they did, nothing was for US citizens. Everything was for, I don't know who was benefiting from it, but definitely not people. Like, again, sending the taxpayers' money to some other country, that should be a treason to me. Like, I'm sorry. Looking at what leaked for USAID, USAID, whatever, that's ridiculous. Sending 50 millions there for some LGBTQ issues and stuff like the amount of money they send, and that's money from taxpayers. I know it wouldn't really reflect on your salary that much, but still, it should be treason. It's nothing that will improve the citizen's life. It's nothing that will improve America. You're pretty much just stealing money from your citizens to send it somewhere, and who does it benefit? And I know Canada's doing the same. I think Czech Republic's not doing the same, because yeah, I don't know if European countries are doing this bullshit or no, but I'm pretty sure, yeah, all the governments are corrupted, but some are more open about it. And like, looking at it, US aid bullshit, it's like, what the hell? And they're still fighting about Trump trying to shut them down? Seriously? Like, it should be treason. Like, whoever put the signature on this bullshit should go to fucking prison. Like, I'm sorry.
The work
Actually,
that
I'm
we have
not.
done has brought on movements, that has brought on things that we are trying to accomplish in the region. It makes no sense.
Yeah, it doesn't.
She's a Democrat. It's mainstream media, CBS News. So they.
But you know, if you still don't understand that politicians are puppets, like, this is proof that that's what's going on. I'm not saying President Trump is anyone's puppet. Don't get me wrong. But you saw Joe Biden, who wasn't there for the last 2-3 years, maybe even 4, who knows. Now you see Kamala Harris, whatever, who's pretty much not even able to answer the question about what she did last 2-3 years. And somehow she's making it, or she's running for the president. Like, obviously there's someone behind her, some puppeteer, who would be in charge of the country, just in the shadows. And that's all we thought about in Czech Republic when you see some of these politicians, some of the high politicians, and you're like, he's not smart. How the hell is he here? You know how. And I'm sorry, I'm not saying she's not smart, but obviously she's not a president material. And yeah, like I said, my opinion, there's someone in the shadow controlling everything, and thank God she didn't win, because who knows which way it would go.
Can't put this out.
Like, she doesn't even know, like, she knows the situation in the US, like what the normal people are struggling with, what the immigration is, all of that. Like, according to her, everything was rainbows and sunshines, which it was, but not a good way for normal people, right? It was all rainbows and sunshines, but people were suffering, so not the rainbows you want.
So they clean it up. They clean her up, and they deceive the American people. This is what actually aired on television about
crazy.
When the Israel question came up.
It seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening.
We're not going to stop pursuing what is necessary for the United States to be clear about where we stand on the need for this war to end.
1 second.
Thank you.
Sorry guys, my wife just brought me something to eat.
Clear, concise, but she didn't say it.
Yeah, it's crazy how they edited it. So she looks more intelligent, but I still think she didn't really give any answer. Let me see.
For this war to end.
Clear, concise,
One more.
but she...
We're not going to stop pursuing what is necessary for the United States to be clear about where we stand on the need for this war to end.
Okay, is it my feeling? I don't want to go too back, but I still think this second part is different than what she said in the previous second part. Like, she looks more polished and more determined and whatever than what we saw before. But she still didn't give the straight answer. Like, I know probably some things are confidential, right? But it's again like, oh, we're gonna do what we did right now because it's best for the best for the Americans, and that's it. Don't ask me what we did. Like, still kind of, I don't know.
Clear, concise, but she didn't say it. She actually didn't say it in the moment. This is crazy. And it gets worse, a lot worse.
Like, I wonder if they sorry, how you say it? Ah, man, I guess I'm tired because I'm really losing the words. But if they re-record it, like, hey, you looked stupid over here, let's take it again, say this and sound confident. I don't know, but yeah, let's see what's the next one.
Here's a moment where she thinks, okay, the camera's off. It's actually not pointing at her.
Uh-oh.
But the guy, Whitaker, who's not bad, it's really the producer and the editor, asked her, okay, so really, how are you going to pay for this stuff? All this pie in the sky stuff. How are you going to pay for it? Tell me. I want to know as a person.
So how are you going to convince a divided Congress that what you say, your plans, are something that they should all agree to and provide to the American people when they've shown no inclination to do that up to this point?
Is that what you needed?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. 30.
Yes, sir. Yes, sorry for pausing, but I just wanted to say that, yeah, I definitely think the interviewer's good guy. Like, he looks smart, and respect to him that he went with this interview, because, like, you're getting these answers for possibly future president of USA. and you're not laughing, you're still professional. Oh man, that takes a lot. That says a lot about him. Like, and again, I don't think he's stupid. I think he knows she's incompetent. I don't think he's like brainwashed Democrat or something. Even if you look at his face, he's serious about it. He's professional. But call me crazy, but he looks worried to me.
36 of sound space for you, John. Cameras are off.
How will you?
Oh, okay.
It's going to be taxes. It's going to be literally, if the economists, I mean, they're from each the spectrum.
But I hear what you're saying about the economists. This is true.
Yeah.
But
Yo, dude, she's horrible. It's like, so how are you gonna make money? I'm gonna work. That's like this type of answer, but then she starts stuttering and everything. It's not like, oh, I'm gonna get a job in IT. I'm gonna work for promotion. You know, like it's still a pretty general plan, but her answer's literally like, I'm gonna work. You know, like that's what I would compare it to. Like it's extremely general. She's obviously, how can you be confident in an answer like this? But it's like she's bullshitting in a school on some exam and she has no idea what she's talking about. Yeah, I don't know, horrible. You dodged the bullet, US.
Congress is not.
I mean, no. You voted for Trump, so it's actually your accomplishment. It wasn't coincidence that she didn't win. You took care of it. Good for you guys. I'm proud.
Not the economists.
I know, but
I know, but it's going to be what? It's going to be taxes. It's going to literally, the economist, I mean, they're from each spectrum.
I can't believe they did it. That's the quote of the year, man. Oh, and that face. It's gonna be taxes. It's gonna be literally the economist. I mean, they're from each spectrum. See, that's and Democrats thought it's a good idea. It's crazy. Like, how? How was that a good idea? Even if she was talking about DEI, it would be better than this. Like, even if she was like, oh, you know, the DEI will take care of it, we're gonna hire so many diverse people, and, you know, some bullshitting like this, but this is like elementary school answer on a university level question. Like, you have no freaking idea and you're just throwing the words. I don't know.
I know, but when this thing aired, it should have shocked the system like an interview did all the way back in 1979. The Ted Kennedy was running for president, and he sat down on 60 Minutes. And they asked him a question that was actually pretty simple. Why do you want to be president? Well, he blew it. It was 2 minutes of gibberish about natural resources. He had no idea why he wanted to be president. I don't think he even wanted to be president. Kamala had a very similar type answer.
Let's shift gears here.
Okay, before we go through that, call me crazy, but I think that someone who's a candidate for US president, or any president, or any promotion in that case, promotion like this, dude, you should be passionate about the job. If you're passionate about the job, you should be able to answer questions like this, even if it's gonna be a lot of obviously unprepared. Like, there should be passion behind it. I'm not comparing myself to anyone like this, but I used to be a personal trainer, right? I saw interviews when I started being personal trainer, and I did it for money. And then 7 years later, when I moved to Canada or whatever, and I was actually passionate about the fitness. I never prepared for any interviews. But because I was passionate about it, I got the job. I knew what I'm talking about. She should be able to do it, even if it's a lot of, I don't want to say random things, because if you're passionate, you know what you're talking about, right? Even if it's not grammatically correct, which for the president it would suck to give answer like this. But like, you should still be able to show the passion, show that you know what you're talking about. But yeah, let's see what she's gonna say.
Most basic of questions. Why do you want to be President of the United States?
There are many
Because I don't want Trump to win.
reasons, but probably first and foremost, I truly believe in the promise of America. I do. And I love the American people. You know, we are a people who have ambition and aspirations and dreams and optimism and hope. If you look at the character of who we are and how we have achieved the strength that we have achieved,
All
I
right.
believe
That's good for a kindergarten teacher.
Yeah, that's like an answer you give on the interview, where you're not trying to offend everyone and you're just trying to get some brownie points from the company that you're interviewing for. But in this case, I feel like she should come up with, I love America, I believe in promise, whatever. She can use it, but then she should go like, I see that there's a lot of things that needs to change, and I want to guide these people for better future by doing this. Like, you know, like, obviously you're American, you should be proud, because yeah, that's in the culture, right? But that's not the answer you're gonna give. Like, you can be proud American even when you're working normal 9-to-5 job. Like, why do you want to be president? Why? Not because you like being American, but because you want to change something, right? Because you want to give Americans better life. You want to, even if you say that you want to be known as one of the greatest presidents in the future, or you want to have like something like this, right? Like pretty much what Trump said. Like, that was a good speech. When, yeah, like, this is ridiculous.
Okay, it makes the ambition, aspiration, dreams, ambition. It's nothing.
Yeah.
And just for fun, let's look at what Ted Kennedy said all the way in 1979.
Oh.
This they didn't edit out. What you just saw there, they didn't put in the final interview. This, they all led with it. And it doesn't sound as bad now, but back then this was considered disqualifying.
Yeah, I feel like back then, even 10 years ago, like you had to be freaking polished, freaking well versed. Like, as a president or politician, you should at least make the impression that you're above normal people, like with education, intelligence, all of it. And then somehow, like 10, 20 years ago, everything and everywhere, it started breaking down, everything's more corrupt, and so many times you're like, how is this person like Minister of Economics when he sounds so dumb comparing to the professor from university who's like professor of economics, you know, stuff like this. Like, the bar went really low since then. But yeah, let's see what he said.
On the stump, Kennedy can be dominating, imposing, and masterful. But off the stump, in personal interviews, he can become stilted, elliptical, and at times appear as if he really doesn't want America to get to know him.
Why do you want to be president?
Well, were I to make the announcement and to run, the reasons that I would run is because I have a great belief in this country, that it is, there's more natural resources than any nation of the world. There's the greatest educated population in the world,
right.
the greatest technology of any
He
country
is
in the world.
basically Abraham Lincoln compared to Kamala Harris. It is.
Yeah, I mean, the answer was still not there, but he was well versed, well put together comparing to Kamala. I don't know. And it's like, you should know why you want to be a president. Like, you should be prepared to answer this question. Like I said, it can be passionate. It might not be put together as well as he just did. But you should still be able to kind of show off that passion. Because elections are pretty much about opinions, right? It might be a passionate decision. So you want to show it off. I don't know. It's just weird, these two examples. Why they want to be president? Well, because America's great. Okay. Yeah, so let's go to Walmart and grab someone over there to be a president because he thinks exactly the same thing. I don't know.
It's fascinating, though. It's actually fascinating, side note, that this guy could even run for president in the first place after Chappaquiddick. Hello? And then girl
I don't know
in the
what that
car.
was.
The media. We don't hate them enough. I like that. I like that a lot. All right. Next, please, a beautiful moment at the White House today.
Oh,
Ready? We'll do a
is
good
it
job.
all?
Wait, let me press that.
Oh, no. Okay.
I want to make this a really good signature because this is, this is a big one, right? Oh, I think we have a 10. We have a 10.
Wait, I thought he's against women, no? What is that? Where did he get so many young girls? I thought he's... Yeah. I thought he hates women, no? What is that? What is he signing? Obviously, I have an idea, but...
No more men in women and girls sports.
Here we go. Yeah. No more men in women and girls sports. And look, everyone standing behind him. That's the generation that's gonna get affected by it if they had to compete against men. And you saw all of these swimmers, cyclists, the women leagues dominated by transgender women. Like, it's ridiculous. How did Biden and Kamala allow this to happen? Give me a sec. My dog was being bad boy.
It makes so much sense.
It's not yours. Drop it. Drop it. No. Kobe. No. Hey. Bad dog. Oh well, let's call it commercial break.
A president of the United States protecting women and girls. It is the common sense revolution. I like that. It's that's what we're seeing. And I got to tell you, the Democrats, what were they thinking? Did they have any guilt
Exactly.
about pushing that hideous ideology on the whole country? Who's like, no, we don't want that. Here he is, kind of spelling out the whole situation, and he does it very directly and powerfully.
Yeah, exactly. How did they... I mean, you can't even say that they let it happen, because they full on supported it. If you looked at the USAID, Yeah, sorry, I'm still like, am I spelling it correctly? Yeah, USAID. And where they sent money and for what causes? It's what were they thinking? Like, how is that gonna help American people? Something that's going on in Colombia, Ireland, and that's concerning this DEI stuff, right? It's never gonna help US. Why are you wasting money? And then in your own country, yes, just ridiculous. And they're gonna portray Trump as a women hater and stuff like this. Look, he's actually the one who did something for the future generation of women. And trust me, there are so many female athletes that would hope that they have him 4 years ago. They lost medals for that. I think Piers Morgan likes to say it. How many medals? I think 900 medals were lost to the transgender athletes. That's ridiculous. And you know what's even funnier? You don't see transgender men in the men's leagues. Yeah. I don't want to start with any conspiracy theory, but how is that?
In a few moments, I'll sign a historic executive order to ban men from competing in women's sports. It's about time.
That smile.
Under the Trump administration, we will defend the proud tradition of female athletes, and we will not allow men to beat up, injure, and cheat our women and our girls. From now on, women's sports will be only for women.
How ridiculous it is that he needs to sign an executive order like this. Like, I wish my grandpa was still alive and I can tell him that that's what's going on. He wouldn't believe. That would be ridiculous. Like, try to explain it some grandparents that that's what's going on in the US. Just a sec, my dog's being bad again. Hey, drop it. So yeah, just brutal.
What a concept. But in America, for the past 4 years, that was radical. That could get you in trouble at work in most places. You couldn't work with the government if you came out and said, no, I don't like that. Or you put a bumper sticker on your car saying, no, screw that. And we all went through the saga, right? I think Leah Thomas is the first time this really got on my radar.
It's that swimmer.
Is a man masquerading as a woman and played on the college female swim team. And if you complained about it, you were in trouble. You were in big trouble. There's Leah. You see, everybody else is a girl. That's a man. And you can just see, not only from the head start, but once in the pool, lapping everybody. It's hideous.
Okay. Let's put it this way. I always say that I don't care what you do behind the closed doors as long as it doesn't affect me. If he wants to be identified as a woman, I don't care about it. But is he supposed to compete with the biological woman? Hell no. Like, just start a league for the transgender people. And I can literally say just transgender women, because I'm pretty sure there's not going to be any transgender man who wants to compete about the biological man, right? So yeah, let's just start your own league. Don't, you're pretty much cheating. Even if the testosterone levels are the same. Like, I have a friend who used to take a steroid. I have a friend who took a steroid like 20 years ago, and he's still jacked. Obviously, he's not on the same level as he was before, But because he grew the muscles and the muscle memory and all of that stuff, he's still in much better shape than the people who never took steroids. So, yeah, like you're never gonna be on the same level, even if your testosterone level is the same. Just the way you evolved, you grew, you can't compare it, man.
Stupid.
It's not like kids pre-puberty are on the same level. I'm pretty sure the guys are still stronger pre-puberty than girls. I don't know. Maybe I don't remember it, but yeah.
It's not even fun. It's not competitive. It's perverted. It's depraved. And it's also dangerous. And look at the victims. Well, they're still soaring. And then she really breaks out. He really breaks out sorry. Poor Riley Gaines. Everything that she did, and she had to watch that man take her trophy and her first.
See, and that's why I'm saying that she definitely wished that Trump won his second term 4 years ago. She would have the gold medal. But yeah, to be honest, like, look at that. The transgender person is not even that fast.
It's also dangerous.
Like that's.
And look at the victims.
That's him,
Still
right?
soaring. And then.
Like, yeah, he's
and then she
faster
really
than
breaks
everyone
out. He really
else,
breaks
but
out sorry. Poor Riley Gaines. Everything that she did, she had to watch that man take her trophy and her first place spot. Well, she didn't take it lying down. She fought back. But before she could, she was against the culture. The culture said that Leah was in the right and she was in the wrong, Riley Gaines. This is NBC News.
that's ridiculous. Like, come on, what are we talking about? And what's the big issue with starting a league for the transgender people? Everyone's gonna be happy. Well, okay, again, my opinion is that obviously transgender people won't be happy because out of nowhere they're gonna be on the same playing field, right? Like I said, you don't see transgender men competing with biological men. And you know why? Because they have no chance.
This is the Today Show. Hoda Kotb is the anchor, and everybody's pretending.
NBC.
Or maybe they are so sick they really believe it, that the Leah Thomas thing is righteous.
There is so much to watch. So she's going to first hit the pool this morning at 10 o'clock. That's the 500-yard freestyle. The prelims finals are tonight. She's favored to win the 500 and the 200-yard freestyles. She's also swimming in the 100-yard freestyle, and she's got a shot there. But in addition to watching for her winning those races, Hoda, we're also watching for the potential. She is within striking distance of the long-held collegiate records by Missy Franklin and Katie Ledecky. So, of course, we're going to be watching to see if she touches those records during this weekend, too.
Stop saying she, first of all. And this is about Strasser. Poor Missy, poor Ledecky. That's not right. But the whole culture was going crazy. The media, and of course, getting their protection and marching orders from the very, very top.
Oh my God, are you
totally
kidding?
Out of his job description. Where in the Constitution does it say the President of the United States should even be thinking about little girls and what?
So it's 2021, so let's see if he's still there or no.
Locker room they use and boys and all of this stuff. Just stay the hell out of it. But he went there on our time. This is company time.
For all transgender Americans watching at home, especially young people, you're so brave. I want you to know your president has your back. To everyone celebrating Transgender Day of Visibility, I want you to know that your president sees you. And know this, you're so brave, you belong, and we have your back. Transgender kids are some of the bravest people in the world. I mean it sincerely. I said last year, especially to our younger transgender Americans, I'll always have your back as your president so you can be yourself and reach your God-given potential.
I don't think the message is bad, to be honest. I have my own opinions about president being supportive of transgender community. I don't think there's anything bad. However, that doesn't mean that he should support them playing in the sports with other biological women or females, right? Like, that's definitely not okay. And yeah, it's ridiculous what they did. It's just, yeah. And I don't even want to talk about it, to be honest, because I don't live in the US. I live somewhere else. I said where. And I don't know what if I'm it sounds ridiculous, but am I allowed to have my opinion about it or no? But let's just go with common sense. Like, if you were born as a man, you should never compete with the people who were born as women. Done. That's it. Like, even when the female is pregnant, right? It's already, the embryo's already evolving differently when it's a boy or a girl. So they already have that, if you want to say, head start. Like, the guys are already different from the girls. So, like I said, I'm all in for the transgender league, but don't let them compete with the biological women.
Just gross. And the Transgender Day of Visibility, yeah, that was actually Easter, right?
What?
Easter Sunday.
What?
It seems like...
Okay, I take it back. This is bullshit. Like, so you take it from a religious people, or you take the Easter Sunday and literally turn it into something. And I'm not religious. I mean, if I'm the closest to being Catholic, but I'm not baptized or anything. But according to Bible, this would be evil works, right? Evil's work, or devil's work. That's what I want to say. So you take the day that's supposed to be religious, and you change it to something that's exactly opposite for the religious people. How is that okay? That's ridiculous.
Kind of a bad dream. He's talking about brave transgender kids. The brave people here are those who stood up against it, like Riley. She wouldn't take it, and she spoke out. And she took a lot of heat for it.
No, for sure. Like, I agree with him that in this case, and it's wrong. It's definitely wrong. You shouldn't be considered brave because you spoke against someone else, right? But because of how government set it up, I don't wanna say, like, government fucked up. Like, Riley shouldn't be in this position. She shouldn't have to be brave because she speaks against it. See, I hope it makes sense what I mean. Even though I don't know how to formulate it, but yeah, let's listen.
I've actually had a ton of Thomas's teammates reach out to me and just thank me for what I'm doing, because they're unable. They're threatened. They're told they will lose their scholarship, which is I don't think that's even legal, and they're having their freedom of speech completely infringed upon.
Can you believe it that she was made to feel the victim?
Yeah.
But she wouldn't let up. And how was she treated by our culture, by our warped society at the time? Like a pariah.
Information.
Yeah, no, that's crazy. And again, like I said, That's what I'm afraid of, because Biden did all of this in 4 years, right? What's going to happen after President Trump's administration, once his 4 years is over? Yeah, like I said, Riley should have never been in this position. She should have never been afraid to speak up against something like that, pretty much voice her opinions. But yeah, most importantly, she shouldn't have ever been in the position to compete against someone who was born as a biological man. I don't know. And like, if you want more proof, let's say when us men get older, the testosterone levels are going lower, right? But does it mean that when I'm 60, 70, I'm not a man anymore? Or does it mean that out of nowhere I'm weaker than, let's say, my wife, who would be 60 or 70? No. Why? Because I grew up as a man. I had that testosterone for, let's say, well, in my case, at that time, for 60, 70 years, right? But yeah, no, definitely crazy stuff that's going on.